times, we even didn't use that written statement, but yet those local variables were coming in the data set. So I'm just trying to understand if I missed something, or can you explain this one once again?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
Demo. Okay, so in this data step, we have 3 observations, right? Okay, if suppose I use, otherwise we don't require this. So, okay, then. If suppose I'm just using the class data set, which is SAS help library. If suppose I'm just creating a new variable that is agem is equals to age plus 2. Here the agem is the local variable which are coming from input data set. It means SAS plus those we are calling the source data set variables, main variables, input data set variable. So there is the PDV is creating, there is a different execution for local and input data set declarations. Here the PDV is declaring there is some difference in between local and source data set information. If suppose I'm just using the put underscore all underscore, we know and each and everyone know how these statements will execute. If suppose the same statements put statement I'm declaring before PDV, it means before the data reading into the PDV level and after data reading into the PDV level. So the both statement will execute inside the PDV only. So this is before data reading, this statement it will execute after data reading. Here also the first statement is it will execute before data reading process, and this is after data reading. So when we execute this both data step, you can just check the difference. Always we know when we are using the input method, for every iteration changes, the all variables will initialize newly again. Okay, when the new, it means when it is changing to next iteration, the all variables declared as a missing values, then it will read the second iteration value. And even when it start with the third iteration, then it will just keep the all variable values are missing, and then it will execute the third iteration value, and fourth iteration it will just keep the missing value and it will just check with the input and chars level. So in chars statement there is no any data to read, right? That is the reason here the fourth iteration is terminating. So like that, here the data process will start the same execution when we are checking with the set method. Yeah, you can see the same execution with the first iteration So in first iteration, here you can see everything which is coming from initially from the PDV level. Here also you can see the same data. So there is no any difference. There is no any difference. It means here here source data set variables are name, sex, age, height, weight, and agem is the local variable. Okay, so same thing, it's just reading the sets after printing this statement, after printing this statement, and it is reading the data, first iteration data into class. Okay, so that is the data. So first iteration, what is the data? Alfred, sex is equals to m, age is equals to 14, height is equals to 69, weight is equals to 12.5. And then, so till here it will read the data, and then it will execute the next statement. So age m is equals to age plus 2. What is the age value? 14. 14 plus 2 is equals to 16. So after printing this put statement, it just printing the, after executing the put statement, it is printing inside this pdv a line into log window. This is printing in the log window after printing. So after executing this put underscore all underscore statement, and then this iteration is storing the first observation into cls data step. Okay, then again it will start with the second iteration. It will start with the second iteration. Here you need to just check here, you need to observe the major difference. There is a difference in between the source data set variable and local variable. Okay, there is a difference, source data set variable and a local variable. For all source, it means when this for the second iteration, when it is executing the put underscore all underscore statement, you can see the information here. It is just retaining the previous iteration to present one. Okay, retaining the previous iteration values. Okay, so it means it is retaining the first iteration alfred name value alfred into second iteration. It is retaining same values except the agem. Why agem is not retaining? It means agem variable is a local variable. So all local variables, the pdv, it will just execute the same like input method level. So in input method level, there is no source data set concept. It means there is no set statement. So here in input method, we are declaring all variables locally only. So these all variables it's creating in this data step only, right? So that is the reason these all variables are the local variables. So for all local variables, when iteration changes, automatically the all variable values it keeps missing. The pdv it will keep missing values. Okay, but when we are using the set statement, when we are calling the set statement, in set statement which data set we are declaring in that data set which variable, it means how many variables are there, those many variable values it will retain. It means when it is changing to the iteration, the iteration, so the first iteration values it will changing into just carry forwarding into the next iteration. That's we call it as a retaining. It means these values, these first iteration values are retaining into second iteration. But this is it means this retaining concept is not applying for the local variable. Okay, so this is happening only for the source data set variable. Then we have a question. If suppose if I want to if I want to act this local variable also a source data set variable, it means this variable value also need to retain to next value. How can we just retain? For that we need to use the retain statement. If you want to act a local variable also a source data set variable, so for that you need to use the statement is called retain statement. Age m. Okay, retain age m. When you execute this one, you can see, so it is just retaining the values. So previously there is a difference, only source data set variables are retaining to next iteration, but here you can see even the local variable also is retaining to next iteration. So that is the difference. So if anything, so for this we have too many derivations to explain. Okay, but we need to learn to some other concepts to execute this concept. It means to work with a retain statement in the programming level. So just you need to understand what a retain statement will exactly do. What retain statement is doing here? It is just retaining the previous iteration value to next iteration when we are using the local variable. Okay.
Yes, yes. Thanks, Raghav.
And if suppose sometimes you may give the value like, it means, so I'm here in first iteration level. If you are using the retain statement for the agent variable, what is the value we are getting in pdv level in the first iteration? Missing, right? If suppose if you are initializing some value, so I'm initializing 0. So 0 is the value. So what retain statement will do? So in pdv level also, this variable, this agent variable, it will create and it will initialize the value from 0 onwards. It will not give any missing values. Even pdv level also, when it's starting, it means even source data set variables or just calling them or creating, and when it's just reading into the pdv in first time, you can see all missing values line, right? You can see all missing values line. This is all missing values line. But if you are using the statement like this, retain agent 0, so from initialization onwards, it will read agent is 0 onwards. Okay, so that is the main resource of the retain statement. So from which value onwards we are initializing? If you are giving 0, if you are not giving anything, it will just consider pdv value as a read. It means pdv value it will just take, it means the missing value. If you are declaring something, it will take that value only. Okay, this is the basic execution. Thanks for asking. Okay, I think if anyone has a doubts, I think now this time you may have the clarity about the retain statement. Okay. Okay then. So in yesterday class, we just started about the character functions. Okay. So character. So we have three type of functions. One is character, and second one is numeric, and next date time functions. So first we are going to discuss, today we are discussing the character functions. So already what we have mentioned here, the substring, scan, trim, left, strip, find, see, these are all functions we are going to discuss now. Okay, so and so listen, the first time if we call any function meaning is, so any function you are calling, for that function is called, we need to call inside the brackets. Okay, function, and then we need to use open bracket and closed bracket. Inside you need to declare the arguments. Okay, arguments. Inside you need to declare the number of arguments based on the requirement. So every function has that function independent dependent arguments. It means there is no relation to any one function to other function. So every function has its own dependent arguments. So here, so in last class we have just started with the substring function. So substring function, it has minimum two arguments and maximum three argument function. Substring function, it has minimum two argument and maximum three argument function. In that, the first argument is string. It means what we are passing, like this is the SAS class is that string. So if I'm using this string, if I want to cut a piece of part in this particular string, I need to use the substring function. So in any string, if you want to cut piece of part in that particular string, you need to use substring function. It means, so you may have the questions. So in some situation is come, so how can we identify which function we need to use? So for that, you need to know each and every function syntax and the purpose. what is that function purpose main, and then we need to know about the syntax. Here, what is the purpose of substring function? It will cut the piece of part in the source string. So here we are giving the source variable. In this, we are declaring the some identifications. So what is the first second argument identification? So this is the start of the string. So in which position we need to start to cut the string. So and next, third argument is the number of characters count. So from starting position, how many letters we need? So we need to mention those many letters. So here, so 2 comma 3, it means from the which position is 2? Here the H position is 2. So from H position onwards, next it will consider even H position is 1, next 2, 3. So these 3 letters, it will just cut the string. So in x1 variable, how many, what is the value in x1 variable? HIS. And next in x2 variable, what we are declaring? In x2 variable, what we are declaring? Substring x comma 2. X comma 2, it means from H onwards, from second position onwards, we are not declaring any third position. Third position, what is mean by third position? It will give the number of characters count. So we are not declaring any number of characters count. So how it will proceed? It means when we are not declaring any third argument, automatically from second position onwards, it will just consider total value till end it will display. Okay, from second position onwards, if you are not declaring any third argument, automatically it's from second position onwards, it will display total value. Okay, that is the main execution about the substring function. Okay, so this is the concept of substring function. Just you need to know which arguments. So the substring function has 3 arguments. First argument is the string, second argument is the start position of the string, and third argument is a number of characters count. Okay, and you can use minimum 2 arguments like this one, and you can use maximum 3 arguments. So this is the syntax for substring function. Next, we can discuss about the scan function. Okay, next we can discuss about the scan function. Same thing, declaring x1 is equals to scan of x comma 1. What scan function will do? Scan function, it will just pick the word. It will just pick the word. See here, this. So, and next, if you are giving 2 or if you are giving 3, what it will do? It will just replace the, it will just give the third word. So it will just check with the word level. It means the scan function by defaultly, it will take space as a delimiter. So by using this space as a delimiter, it will consider this as a one word, and second word is is, and third word is SAS, and fourth word is class. So scan of x comma 3. Scan of x comma 3. So which position is declared as third word? SAS. So now x1 variable value is 3. And in demo 3, you need to know about the even length as well. Okay. Okay, so x is the source variable. If suppose, if I am clicking, so first you need to check what is the x variable length? 17. What is the x1 variable length? 17. X2 variable length is also a 17. X3 variable is also a 17. So how this variable is deciding the length? It means all variable lengths are only 17. So you need to remember the point. When we are using the substring function, the source variable length, it will automatically assign to this variable length. Okay, the source variable length, automatically that length it will assign to this variable. Okay, like that we are using x only, the source variable is x only, right? So what is the x variable length? 70. Automatically this 3 variable lengths is also a 70. Okay, next we can check even scan function also. Here we know that the x variable length is 17. Next you can check here, what is the x1 variable length? Even 17. It means even scan function as well, it is just giving the length is 17. It means the source variable length. Okay, so you need to understand the point here is when we are using the substring function and some scan function. So by using these functions, if we are creating any new variables, for those variables the length is automatically assigned for source variable length only. Okay, so keep this point in mind. And next, if suppose x2 is equals to scanf. So if you want to just select the word from reverse onwards, okay, so -1 means it will just select the values from reverse. So this is the -1 and this is -2. The SAS is -2. Next, this is -3, -4. Like that it will give. Okay, in reverse order. Okay, class 1. Next, if suppose sometimes we don't know always the values, it will just use the delimiter as a space. So the delimiter as space, right? So sometimes suppose at the rate symbol is the delimiter. Suppose example, this is the delimiter. Now if you just call like, instead of x1 I'm declaring y and 1. So see here, cn1, oh sorry, okay, so is it getting the first word? So in y1 function, in y1 variable we are using scan of y comma 1. So but we need to select first word. It considering this total as value as a word. It is not considering at the rate is a delimiter. So what it is considering, this total value is a word. So how can we resolve this point? So for this we need to mention the delimiter explicitly. Scan function, it will take space, but space is a by default delimiter, so we don't need to declare any space as a delimiter. But when we are using other any special characters as a delimiter, any letters or alphabets, numbers, anything or as a delimiter, we need to declare explicitly as a third argument. Okay, so by defaultly scan is a 2-argument function. But if any delimiter requirement we need to define in the scan function, we need to declare as a third argument. At the rate. See here. This now it is coming. Why? Because we have given the dollar, sorry, at the rate as a delimiter. So like that scan function will work. Okay, and next, this is, if any questions about the any functions, please ask, you can discuss. Okay, after explaining. So we just completed with the 2 functions. Next, trim strip. Okay, just I will explain these functions together. Okay, trim, left, and strip function. Okay, so data. So that is the data set name. If suppose I have the x variable value, suppose x1 is equals to, so trim of x. So and y is equals to y1 is equals to trim of y. Okay, so I'll just update it to different executions. One is x and one is y. Let's see what is exactly the data set is doing. Now here, what here we are doing? So in x variable, we are declaring high. After that, we have some spaces. Okay, so these spaces we called it is trailing spaces. These spaces we call it is trailing spaces. So when we are using the trim function for x1 variable, so what it is doing, it is just removing the trailing spaces. Okay, trim function is removing these trailing spaces. But in y variable, we have leading spaces and trailing spaces both. In y variable, we have leading spaces and trailing spaces both. But when we are using the trim function for y variable, it is only single argument function, trim function is. So when we are using trim for y variable, so is it removing the leading spaces? So here you can see same spaces in y1 variable. It means trim function, actually the use of trim function is it will remove the spaces. But there is an issue with the trim function. What is the issue? Trim function, it will remove only leading spaces. It will not remove any trailing, sorry, it will remove only trailing spaces. It will not remove any leading spaces. Then how can we remove the leading spaces? Okay, then how can we remove the leading spaces? So for that, we have one more function is called left function. For that, we have one more function is called left function. So what left function will do? So is left function will remove these leading spaces? No. What left function will do? It means when we are using the left function for that variable, left function, it will convert these leading spaces into trailing spaces. Okay, left function when we are using, so it will convert these leading spaces into trailing spaces, and then we need to use the trim function. It means, so for this we call it as a nested function calling. So inside trim function we are calling the left function. So what left function is doing, it is just converting these leading spaces into trailing spaces, and then trim function is removing these trailing spaces and giving the correct value. This is the lead. Good question. I'll just come back to this question. Okay, now in data level we can't see. It means by seeing the data I cannot show you exactly. Okay, by seeing the data I can show you exactly, but when we are discussing with the cat functions, I'll show you the thing. What is the difference between the leading and trailing spaces? Okay. Okay, so now you can just remind the point is left function, it will convert leading spaces into trailing spaces, and then we are using the trim function, right? So trim function is removing the trailing spaces. Okay, that is the execution of uh, trim and left. So but if you are using the strip function, if you are using the strip function for y variable, so strip function, it will remove leading spaces and trailing spaces, both spaces. So any spaces it will remove. So strip function, it will remove all spaces, leading and trailing spaces both. Okay, but if suppose for example trailing and leading spaces, it will applicable only the starting of the word, ending of the word only. If suppose if we have any spaces in between the word, it won't remove. If suppose in between we have multiple spaces, this strip function, what it is removing, it is removing the leading spaces and trailing spaces. So in between, if suppose uh, so if I have multiple spaces, will it, is these spaces will remove when we are using the trim or strip function? No, it will not remove. So this function, it will affect only leading and trailing. It will not remove any in between the word spaces. Okay, only starting and ending only it will work. Okay, so then we have the question. If I have multiple spaces, if I have multiple spaces in between the word, if I have multiple spaces in between the word, how can I remove? Z, like that I have. So in this, how can I remove? If the values like this I have, it means how can I remove? For this, we have one more function is called, so I didn't return the compress and compile, right? Very important. After this, so we have one more function is called compile. So what compile function will do? Compile function, it will just if we have any multiple spaces, compile of Z, that's it. If we have any multiple spaces, it will just remove those multiple spaces and it will give only single space, that's it. So see here, here we have multiple spaces, but after using compile function, you can see only the single space. Okay, is it clear for everyone? Okay, super. And next we can discuss the compress function. Compress is easy and typical function. Okay, if suppose example x, just I'm using compress x. When I execute the program now, see here, so it is just removing the all spaces. Okay, it is just removing the all spaces. Okay, what compress function will do? It will by defaultly, it will take space as a delimiter, and so it will just compress the space. But if I suppose, if I am giving something, other than, it means by defaultly it is compressing the space. So if I want to compress some other value, if I want to compress some other value, you can declare that value also. So single space, okay, inside quotations x, that's it. So suppose I'm just compressing yes. When you are using the delimiter, it won't consider by default a delimiter as a space. So it will consider S as a delimiter. It means it will compress only S. Okay, in x2 variable, you can just find x just compressing the S value. Okay, so if you are giving the multiple letters, suppose I'm giving A, it will compress A and S individually. So there is no comparison. It means there is no, it means, so it won't check any combination value. It will compress individually. All delimiter indicates it will compress individual only. So now if you see, even A also it's just removing. And data is case sensitive. Please remind the point. The data is case sensitive. It means here we are giving only small letters. So small letters we are declaring, right? It will compress only the small letters. It won't check with any capital letters. Okay. This is the declaration. And if suppose we have some other executions with the, this is the general part is required for the compress function. This is the general part. For sometimes, so I'm declaring the variable. So something, not the double quotes. So like I have the values. Okay. So if I'm using y1 variable, so using compress function x comma, just indicates second argument is the missing values for the delimiter. Nothing you can declare. Okay. Second argument, you can just declare double quotations. After that, I'm declaring K A. After that, I'm declaring Ka, and next Kd, Kp. So if suppose when I execute this program, any questions?
You need to mention why.
Yeah, sorry. See here, compress function. So what is the first one? Ka. So in y1 variable, you can see only alphabets. What is the second one? Kd. In y2 variable, you can see only digits. K digits. It means keep digits. Ka means keep alphabets. Keep means keep punctuations. So that is the main execution requirements about the compress function. Ka means keep alpha. Kd means keep digits. Kp means keep punctuations. Like that, it will display. Compile by default, it will consider as a space as a delimiter. Okay. Even compress, scan function, everything by defaultly, it And if anything is there also, don't need to remember that point. Okay, delimiters except the space you need to mention explicitly. Okay, compel function by defaultly, if we have any multiple spaces, it will give only one space. That is the separate syntax. And scan function and compress function. Okay, if you are giving the any value as a delimiter, it means it will compress the value. That's it. By defaultly, it will consider space as a delimiter, just compressing the space. Other than the space, if you are giving anything, so it will consider that value as a delimiter, or it will compress. Even in the scan function also, at the rate you have given, right? So at the rate is a delimiter. Instead of at the rate, you can give yes, a letter, any a letter, something. So that a letter is a delimiter. Okay, so inside brackets, yeah, I told you, right? So in compress function, the second argument is the to compress something as a delimiter. What we are declaring, that will compress in second argument. But we are not declaring anything. It means we need to just keep the missing something. We need to declare the second argument. Or if suppose, if I am not declaring anything, even that is also executing. So second argument should be missing. So second argument compress function is, it will consider as a delimiter level. It means that value will compress. But if you want to keep only alphabets, digits, or any punctuations, that you need to declare in third argument only. That you can't declare in second argument. Okay, the option will work only for the third argument. Okay. Okay, thank you. And next, sometimes we may have the masking characters. So here we can't type anything in our SAS keyboard. Okay, sometimes we may have the masking characters that is not visible in our data level. So for those, if you want to remove the masking characters, if you want to remove any masking characters that are not the alphabets, digits, and punctuations, if you want to remove those, and if you want to keep only the alphabets, digits, and punctuations, you need to declare KW. Okay, so yeah, it will remove the masking characters and it will just keep only the alphabets and digits and punctuations. Okay, compress. So same result you can see, but I'm just saying that. So yeah, if any masking character is there, you can just use KW. It will consider, it will just remove any masking characters are there. Okay, this is about the compress function. Next we'll discuss find C and count C. So here x is equals to, this is the SAS class. X1 is equals to find of x comma what find function will do, it will find something in this particular string. It means we are using the source variable. Okay, we are using the source variable, and next we need to declare the value to find in this source variable. We need to declare the value to find in this source variable. Suppose I am declaring is. Okay, so I'm declaring is. So can you tell me anyone, so what is the x1 variable value here? Find function, it will return the position of the identified value. Find function, it will return the position of identified value. So what is the value here?
6.
X1 is 2.
X1 is 2 or 6. or
Six.
3, 0?
3.
Yeah, 3.
Why can't be 6?
I think it's 6. It could be 6.
Okay, so yeah, so let's check the what is exactly the second argument, how it will work actually. So yeah, so the both answers are fine, but we need to check with the syntax level, right? So some people are thinking, so it will check this value is there in between the in word, in the part of word also the value is there, it will identify. But some people are thinking only when we have the in word level, then only it is identifying, right? So now we need to confirm that what find function will do. So here, so always the find function, it will search the letters together in this particular string, together level. It means it will not considering as a word or nothing. So in together level, is in which position is coming first, it will give that position. So together is coming, it means in this word has is, right? So same this together value is coming here. It means, so it means it will give the start position of the word, start position of that particular identification letter. So which position is I here? 3. It means the find function, it will give them 3 is a value because the characters together, it is identifying the third position. Okay, it won't check word level, so it will check even the value finding inside the word also. So it is just identify the value is there in the characters together, wise or not. Okay, so here the value is, the position is the find 3. Okay, now if suppose if you are giving like si, will it identify any what is the value now? It will give 0. Why? Because there is no value, the declaration on it means si, is there any value si characters together? No, that is the reason it is just returning the value is 0. Is x2 is equals to find c x comma is is semicolon, x3 is equals to find c comma x comma can you tell me what is the x2 variable value?
Same 3, I think so.
x3
Let's see.
For x2 it will be 6.
0.
x3 0.
I think there is a there is a gap. SI, this is gap is here. I don't think it takes.
Okay, yeah. So everyone is understood for the find function, right? It will check characters together. It means the value is identified in this particular string. Okay, even so then it will give the position. Is clear, right? Find function. Now coming to find c, so find c indicates the individual character. It means the find c function, it will search individual character wise. Okay, it won't search like find function. So find function, it will search character together, the combination of characters. So find c function, it will search individual letter wise. So when it is searching individual letter wise, so it will just first check the I identifications. So in which position is coming I? Third position. Next, it will check with the S position. So which position is coming? S, fourth position. Comparing these two letters, so which is coming first? The I position is coming first, right? So that is the reason x2 variable find C position is 3. And next, x3 position. So x3 position means this is also a find C function. So what find C function it will do? When we are declaring the second argument value, in second argument, it will check if you are declaring single character is fine. It will only take that position. If you are declaring multiple characters, it will search individual letters. Here we have declared first value is S, right? So S in which position is coming? S, fourth position. Next, what is the, it will search for the I position as well. What is the I position? 3. And comparing to I and S position, so which position is coming first? I position is coming first, right? It means here also in x3 variable as well, it will display x variable value is, it means the find C position value is 3 only. Did you get the point?
Yes.
Everyone? Sorry? X2? X2 variable, direct answer. So the I is identifying in the third position, right? And S is identifying the fourth position. So comparing these two, which position is identifying first? 3 only, right? So it means here third position, fourth position. Which one is less? Third position, 3, right? So it is giving the 3. And here also, it is 4 is identifying first and 3 is identifying second. But when it is comparing both values, which is less value? 3 only. That is it. That is the reason it is giving 3. If you are declaring H here, what is the x3 value? 2. That is the answer. That's it. Okay. Is it clear? That is the only the difference, right? If you are declaring, so if you are declaring, suppose SIH, what is the x1 value here? Please
Two.
quick. What is the x1 value?
0.
0. Because find function, it will search the letters together. It means it will search the same combination in this string. Is there the same combination? SIH? No. Automatically it will give the 0. If it will find that combination in this string, then it will just to give that position. If not there, it will give the return. It will give the return value is 0. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the difference. IS is identifying this position. Here also same. The positions are same, but here it is just checking the combination of word. Here S is there, S is not there. What is the I position? Now, what is the X1 position? S is not there. What is the X1 position now? 5. It will consider even space is also a character. So which position is yes? IS, fifth position. But x2 variable, what is the x2 variable position? X2
Three.
variable value
3.
3.
3. X3
2,
6,
6.
X3,
2,
Three.
X3,
2.
3,
don't
3.
confuse which letter is
I.
coming first. X is coming
I.
first.
Yeah.
What is the
Three.
H value, H position?
H2.
2.
2.
H.
Okay. So find C position now. 5. Don't confuse. Okay. Sorry, 5th position this is. Okay. So yeah, please practice, you will understand. And next, coming to count C. And I will explain here only the same thing what we are discussing about the find C, the same thing we can just execute even for the count C as well. So same, this is a X variable, C1, C2. Okay, count C. Now tell me, okay, so I'm using count function and count C. So when I execute this program, can you tell me what is the C1 and C2 values?
C1 is 2.
C1 is 2
Mhm.
and C2 is
2.
Yeah.
so how you are saying C1 is 2?
The combination is it's in the
Only
first
2.
letter.
So
Yeah.
what count it means the meaning of count function is what value we are declaring as a second argument, what value we are declaring as a second argument. It will search in the string the combination and then it will count number of position. It means number of occurrences. It will count number of occurrences. How many occurrences it has? The combination 2 occurrences. So C2 value is 2. Perfect answer. Next, what count C function will do? It will count individual letters. So how many individual I values there inside this string? 2. How many
2.
individual S values are there in this string?
6.
How many? No, data is case sensitive, right? So you don't need.
Yes. So 1,
So
2, 4.
4. 4.
4. Okay, you need to just concentrate on the lowercase and uppercase. So 1, 2, 4. Okay, I values are 2. So 2 plus 4, 6.
6.
6. It means what is the C2 value?
6.
6.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Clear, right?
Yes.
Next. So we'll discuss transword and translate as well. Okay, so data. Y1 is equals to transword It means it will just replace the word. It will also, it means there is a condition, like it means if else condition type, like I think if condition type is if it is identified the same word in the string and it will replace with the new value, tran word. It means it is transferring. So syntax is 3 argument. So always you need to remember the syntaxes at the same time. We are directly discussing the examples. At the same time, these are all the 2 arguments. Okay, compress, it is basically single argument, and 2 arguments, even 3 arguments based on the requirement. Okay, find function is 2 argument, find C is 2 argument, count C also a 2 argument function, but translate and tran word is 3 argument functions. Now y comma, what I am doing here, instead of SAS I am replacing, okay, I'm replacing Oracle. Now you may have the question here, what is the y variable length? 17. Already we know that, right? Now what I'm doing here, SAS is 3 letters,
3.
but here we are entering 6 letters. So now what we can expect for the y1 variable length? Will it 17 or more than that? So if you want to store this value, replace with this value, it should be more only. Less it won't be possible, right? There will be the truncation of data. It means there is a length difference also for the y1 variable. So always you need to remember. So here find function and count function, it will return the value numeric. Okay, positions and it counting. And tran word, it will return the value characters only. Compress function also character, compile character, everything is character only. Only find functions, count functions, and length functions. These functions, it will return the values only numeric. Okay, the positions. Here, tran word. So when we execute this, trans, okay, this is SAS class. Now when I open here, you can see 200. This functions we called it as a supervisory functions. When we are executing, it means when we are by using the tran word function, and what is the y1 variable length? 200. So these type, we may have some other functions also. So these type of functions we called supervisory functions, which it means which function length by defaultly it is giving 200. We call those functions are supervisory functions. Okay. Now it is replacing, instead of SAS, it is just replacing the Oracle. So if suppose example, okay, it will replace multiple places. Suppose here I have E, I'm declaring ARE. So instead of is, it will replace with ARE. How many places it is there, those many places it will replace. Now you can see THIS. So it will replace THARE. Okay, now we have the question. I don't want to disturb the combination of words. It means if the word, so this, I need to replace only this value. I don't need to replace this one because that is in the combination. So I need to change only in yes is in word level only. I don't need to change so within the word level. Okay, how can I declare that part? For that, this is just a generalized example. Yeah, So for that, you just need to declare even space as well. So it means now it will check search space including with is. So then it will replace same value. If you want to space, you need to just declare space as well here. Otherwise, so instead of these 3 letters, it will just replace ARE only. So it won't, it means it will just ignore the space, right? Because we are declaring here. So if you want space, you need to declare space before even R statement, word also. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So coming to translate. Coming to translate. So x1 is equals to translate. So always you need to think transmode function. First is string. Second one is to value. Sorry. From value. From it means it is which is identifying the local string. This is to value. From and to. But when we are using the translate, this is different. Y comma. So what I am declaring here? Declaring. So instead of yes, I am declaring suppose R. Sorry. Yes, sir, right? So, okay, sorry. So translate function, it will consider this is the from value, this is the to value, just opposite way of transmode function. So in transmode function, it will work. I'll write the syntax here. String or source variable. This is from value. Next to value. It means from value means identified value, replacing value. Okay. Translate is string to value. Next from value. Okay. To value and from value. Okay. So first here what we need to declare? We need to declare to value here. Instead of yes, I need to replace with R. Okay. So this is the from value. This is the replacing value. So when I execute this program, even I confused myself. So always you need to keep in mind the translate first argument is string, second argument is to value, third argument is from value. But transmode is string from value to value. You can see it is just replacing with R. If suppose I am declaring A. So how it will replace? I am declaring IS, right? So transmode, it will check data like together like find function, find or count function. So it will search together character level in this particular string. Then only it will replace the value. Translate like a find C and count C. So what is count C doing? It just individually, it's just counting and displaying. Here also translate same thing. So it will just take, this is the identified value A. For this, the first declared replacing value is A. It means where we have I value in this particular string, it will replace with A. And next we have yes. Where we have yes value, it will replace with R. That's it. So now you can see. So instead of Oh. Instead of I, you can see A. Instead of yes, you can see R. Okay, is it clear now? Transword and translate. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
And I think you just understanding the situation. It means the discussion what we are doing from last 3-4 classes. The things are going very complex. If you practice, then only you remember. Otherwise, it means you can't remember anything. If you listen the classes also, it's waste of the time. Practice makes only you the good understanding. Okay, so please practice when you have the time. At least you need to spend the time daily 4 to 5 hours. Then only you will just to follow the regular classes. Okay, only class timings, only class days you are practicing, it means you won't remember anything. Okay, please try to make some time for this practicing every day. And next we can discuss about these 3 functions: length, length C, lengthen. Length of X. Three. See here, when we execute this program, len, you can see first one is length. So what value we are getting? 3. So second we are using length C. Length C. What value we are getting? 6. Next we are using a length N. What value we are getting? 3. So it means length function, it is declaring, it means in this X variable, when we are using the length function, what length function is displaying? It means how much length it is just displaying. It means 3. Okay, so any particular string, when we are using the length function, it will display only used length. Okay, actually, what is the length for X variable? It is the sum around 6. You can see the length variable, length of X variable is 6. So but in that, the length when we are using the length function, in that we just used only 3 letters, so it is just displaying 3. It means length function, it will display user length. But coming to length C always it will give assigned length, direct assigned length. What is the length of X variable? 6. It means it will give the 6. That's it. Okay, length function means it will give only user length. Lengthen also it will give only user length. Okay, it won't, it means, so it will also give only just like length function. Then we have the question, what is the difference in between length and lengthen? Right, what is the difference in between length and lengthen? So if suppose, is this clear? The thing, length function, it will give only user length. length C function, it will give assigned length. Length N function, it will give same like user length as a length function. Okay. Now, if suppose I'm declaring one more data step in that length 1. So I'm not declaring any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 spaces I'm declaring. I'm not declaring any letters, only spaces. So now when I execute this program, what is the length? What is the actual length of X variable? 5, because even it will consider space as is also a length, right? So it means X variable length is 5. Next, for that, when we are using the length function for that, so what is the length for this? It means what it will, what is the value for len1 variable?
0.
0.
Okay, len2,
6,
len2,
Five.
it's actually 5
Five.
only we have
Five.
given.
5,
Yeah, length n,
0,
5.
No, wrong answer. See here. What is the length? First length
1.
is 1, next 5, next 0. It means here we know that length function, it will give only user length, right? So that is the reason here we are getting 3. Here we have assigned, here also we are getting 3. So here it means all spaces we do not have any value declaration. Then also it is giving 1. So what length function is doing, even we have multiple spaces are more than one length or even 100 length, 1000 length, with all spaces, length function by defaultly it will give 1 as a length for any variable. At least it will give 1 byte of memory. It means 1 as a length. Okay, even it has multiple spaces, it will consider as only 1 length. Okay, if the value is there, it will give used value, used length, number of characters, something. Total we have the missing value. Even it has multiple spaces, but it will consider only 1. Okay, next coming to length 2, we know already it will give assigned. Coming to length 3, length n, it means null values. None values, it will totally ignore. It won't consider any spaces as a length. It won't consider any spaces as a length. Okay, so it will remove everything. So that is the reason here we are getting 0. Okay, if we have any null values, length function, it will give at least 1 length. Length and function, it will give 0. That is the difference. Okay, so and you need to remember, if we have even multiple spaces in between something, here we are declaring, so it will consider even these spaces also. Length function, it will just to remove the leading spaces, that's it. So now what is the user length? Till here is the user length. Okay, till here is the user length. So it won't bother about in between the, so it will consider total values as a length only. Okay, is it clear now? Perfect. Now we can discuss catx. So do you have the time? Somewhere around 20 minutes today. I'll just continue the
Yes.
class. I'll try to finish the remaining functions as well today. Okay, thank you very much. Please. Okay, cat functions. Cat functions, these will take some extra time. So at least we'll finish this part. Cat functions. Okay. Now, x1 is equals to, so x x1 is equals to, so I have two variables, x and y variable. Cat means simple answer, concatenation, that's it. Okay, concatenations. So concatenation, it means if I want to concatenate these two variables into single variable, I need to use the cat functions. Okay, if any two variables, if we need to combine, we need to add, we need to concatenate, we need to use the cat function. So cat functions, we can use cat functions, or you can use pipe symbols as well. You can use cat functions or pipe symbols as well. Okay. So anyway, you can use. It means I'll just give you an example. X pipe symbol Y. Okay, directly it will concatenate. That's it. See here now, but you cannot find any space in between. IS is, there is no any space in between IS is and SAS. So if we need space in between, again we need to concatenate even space as well. Quotes, space, quotes, concatenation. That's it. So again we need to declare space. So this is the general process of the concatenation. Now we have the proper value. So the same thing we can declare. So the same thing we can declare by using cat function. So cat, you can declare n number of arguments. Minimum is 2 arguments, maximum n number of arguments. So x comma y. So here you no need to declare any pipe symbols. So cat indicates concatenation. You can just separate with comma. That's it. X1. Sorry, cat function. You can see now same thing it is doing. So it is also just concatenating. Now what is the length of this? 17. It means what it is doing? It is just what 17, right? Here 7, next here 9, 7 9 16, and then we are adding one space, right? So 16 plus 1 17. So it is just adding the spaces as well. So total space is 17. But if you are checking with the x2 variable, what is the x2 variable length? 200. It means when we are using the cat functions, the cat functions is also a supervisory function. So the variable length is, it will assign 200 like a transword and translate. Okay. So if you want to add space, you need to declare the space in between and comma. This is the basic execution about cat function. Now we have the question. So what is the requirements of cat T, cat S and cat X? So cat T means concatenates and trims. Cat S means concatenate and strip the value. Cat S means concatenate and strip the value. Cat T means concatenate and strip the value. Okay. If suppose, okay, I will give you the different examples for that. The same thing. If suppose, if I have any leading spaces, I have leading and trailing spaces. So, okay, we know already the cat function, right? So instead of cat, I'm just declaring cat. So what cat function will do? It will trim the value. So trim, it means what trim will do? It will remove only the trailing spaces. It won't remove any leading spaces, right? So if we execute this part, see here, always just removing the spaces, but it is not removing any leading spaces, you know, you can see here. So it is not removing any leading spaces. So cat T, but here this is removing. Somebody just asked the question when we are discussing the trim function. So trim function is removing only trailing spaces. So that is the reason. Here you cannot see any spaces in between ISEs and SAS. Have you seen any spaces here? No, right? Did you get the question? Somebody asked the trim, the difference between trim and strip. Yes, right? Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so it is just trimming only trailing spaces. It's not trimming any leading spaces. So if suppose, if you are using x3 is equals to cat, yes, even if you use like comma space also, it will remove everything, because it will remove the spaces. That's it. Okay, even if you are concatenating spaces, it won't concatenate. Trim means it will trim the spaces. Strip means even this is also a same thing. It will strip the spaces. So in between, you can't give any spaces. Cat T. See here, the same answer you can find. But what is the difference? Cat T and cat S. So cat T is just trims the trailing spaces, but cat S, it will trims the leading spaces and trailing spaces. But in between, if you are declaring any spaces, this is not useful. Waste of the declaration, because it will remove. That's it. So cat, yes, it will just removing even leading and trailing spaces as well. Okay, so this is the basic declaration about the cat C function, cat T and cat S functions, and this is the individual cat functions. And now only remaining one is cat X function. So what cat X function will do? I will just declare it. Okay, let's see. Suppose A1 is equals to, if we need to concatenate these three variables, how can we concatenate? Please tell me the answer in general process. A, pipe symbol,
B,
B,
We need
Space.
the spaces, right?
Space,
In between
yeah.
the word,
Double quotation.
double quotations, space, and close the quotations. And then we need to declare
D.
Yes.
B.
B.
Again pipe symbol.
Again pipe symbol.
If we have any spaces in between like this, okay, for that you need to remove the spaces, right? Okay, so use strip symbol. Okay, it will remove leading and trailing spaces. Then we are concatenating the space, so perfectly it will set with the one space in between the word. Okay, next B, and next concatenation, space, concatenation, and C. That's it, right? Yeah, this is the execution. For this, if you want to do by using a cat function, directly you can declare strip of A, and next
Comma
concatenation comma B
B.
space next
C.
That's it. Okay, this is the cat function. Now there is a syntax for even cat3 functional catx function. So what catx function will do? What catx function will do? So there is a syntax. Here we are declaring directly arguments. This is one argument, this is one argument, this is one argument. But catx function, the first argument is always a delimiter. Remember the point? In catx, the first argument is always a delimiter. It means if suppose I am declaring any space, it indicates this space, it will give the delimiter comma B comma C. That's it, catx function. So what catx function it will do? This will strip each and every variable, strip. It will strip all variables, and in between it will add the delimiter. Okay, I'm repeating again, catx function. So the first argument is a delimiter. So from second arguments onward, it will strip the all values, then it will concatenate with delimiter declaration what we have declared in the first argument. Okay, here if you are declaring space as a delimiter. If suppose if you are declaring at the rate is a delimiter. If you are declaring any alphabets, that alphabet is a delimiter. Okay, is it clear now? Okay, see here, which variable? A3. Okay, supervisory function, you can see. So if suppose instead of so I'm declaring at the rate or tilde symbol, you can declare it means these both are the, it means this both comes as a delimiter, cat function. Okay, that's our wish, what thing we are declaring there. Okay, so yeah, okay, this is fine now, and only few functions left. We'll discuss these 5 functions next class, and otherwise these functions will complete now itself. Yeah, okay, these 3 functions are single argument functions. So data any. Okay, so alpha a is equals to single argument function, right? This is y. Digit is equals to next b is equals to punctuations. See here. So what any alpha it will check? It will check in this particular word. It means this string. Is there any alphabets or not? So if alphabet is there, it will give that position. So in which position the alphabet is there? In first position is only there, right? It means it will give the first value. And next, what is the digit position is, so it will check the digits in this string. So it is not identifying anything, it will return 0 value. If it is identifying, it will give that position. So which position we have the digit? 11th position. And next we have the punctuations in this particular string. Do we have the punctuations? Yes. In which position it is just starting the punctuations? 20th position. That is the reason you can see the 20. It means any alpha, any digit, any punctuations, it will just return the values if it is identified the particular position. Okay, is it clear now? Yeah, that's it about these functions. I'll just discuss only 2 functions are left, and we have the general functions, lowercase and uppercase. You know, right? So lowercase means y1 is equals to single argument variables. Y2 is equals to, and one more thing, y prop case of x. So lowercase means it will just display all x variable values into lowercase in y1 string. Upcase means it will give total upcase values into y2 variable. Next, prop case means every first letter it will give upcase, remaining all should be lowercase. Okay, substring. See here, lowercase, upcase, prop case. That's it. Even SAS is also a converted into prop case because we have given the prop case, right? Okay, so this if C and Kolaski, 2 variables are there. This we'll discuss tomorrow. It means Friday's class, and I will just send you the tomorrow exam paper. Please complete tomorrow itself. Okay, don't pending the classes and exam papers. Don't postpone it. Tomorrow 8 o'clock sharp time, I will just send you the exam paper. Complete within, it means 8 o'clock is, it means you need to complete 8 to 8:30, 1.5 hour time, and write in WordPad on your laptop. Okay, so and yeah, after every question you need to just, like after every question just mention answer, and then you need to write the answer. Okay, after that send the document saving with your name. Okay, okay, thank you. Please practice. I'll send you today itself this class after 30 minutes.
Thank you.